All right, guys. Is that the same thing? Zoom call. Edit.
Hey, Kai, I'm the only one who did it right, but
did everybody stay in the other one?
I think, well, we all logged off, but I think they logged back in with the same link. I grabbed a link from that you posted in the chat on LA's channel.
Okay.
Here they come.
He's not here, and there is one way you can try to restart it, but it can screw everything up. It can because it's going on multiple channels, it can lock other people out. It's a whole thing, and StreamYard's so weird. Let me tell you something before everybody comes in here. My youngest is sitting right here at the other part of my desk, and it's interesting. He was listening to you talk, and I was explaining to him. He hears a lot of this, because we talk about it a lot. And my husband is in the car with our oldest, so he's listening. Two very similar personalities, these two. Middle one is polar opposite, but you should hear the things that he says about this whole thing and how there's an example of something that went on at school. Their middle school and high school are on the same campus.
Okay.
Which in some ways is good, I think. It's a huge mix of people, predominantly brown, different.
Ethnicities.
You've got, we're Florida, so you've got Cuban, you've got Dominican, but their football team went to state and won. Different things. But anyway, you've got the boys that wear the bonnets, you've got all that. But he got in trouble, honor roll student, last year because he's a boy. And it was as simple as a girl whipping a water bottle at him.
Right.
So what does he do? What I would tell him to do: pick it up and throw it back.
Right back at her. Yeah.
Girl.
Right.
Blk Thoughts is the only one not in here. Hello.
I just told him to.
I got it back up.
Mayo, we're getting background.
I made a new stream, so you can go hit that.
The CIA tapping his line. Mayo, get that shit.
That did sound like some wiretap.
Hey, Kai, thank you.
I've got nothing playing.
Really?
Yeah, because the CIA
my
tapping his
TV
line.
is not turned up. Nothing.
Well, we're getting crazy feedback from you. That's crazy.
I told you was going on.
I'll come up and come back. I'll come down and come back up.
Yeah, he got to get that Liberty VPN.
Hey, Ruthless, you was getting ready to ask me a question.
Yeah. About what do you think about mental health?
What do I think about what?
Mental health.
I think that we're creating that crisis because we're trying to change society. I think mental health is going up because we're trying to change men into women and women into men. And that's a problem. We're trying to tell everyone that up is down and down is up, and that's mentally going to cause issues.
Yep.
Oh, you're training against biology.
Exactly. That's not going to work for you mentally. Why do you think right now women are as unhappy as they've ever been? Because they're trying to take on the role of masculine men. And they're not built for it. So they're unhappy.
I agree with that.
Yeah, mental health right now. Go ahead, Ruthless.
Just expand on this leadership thing, right? About men and me as an individual. I've been through pretty intense situations where I had to Zoom or be elected in a leadership position. And everybody ain't leaders. It's just you got homies who are soldiers, then you got leaders, you got generals, lieutenants, right? This is the way life is. It's been that way since the beginning, right? Everybody falls in a role. And when you come to relationships and friendship, I'm not just talking about female, but also friendships, dealing with people, there's certain instances that happen in life where the natural leaders step up and say, hey, you know what I mean? Let's do this like this, or let's try this like that. But can't account for everybody. Everybody can't assume that type of. That's a gift. It's actually a talent.
Here's the problem, right?
Yeah,
in 2023, we have males who are learning to become quote unquote leaders from women.
You think so?
I know so.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in certain companies.
Hold on.
Companies.
When you
this
have
is in schools.
When you have
bingo.
Hold on. When you have males being raised by single mothers, how can they not be learning to be leaders from women?
Well, let me give you an example of how I look at it, right? Well, when I was growing up, I was a single mom. When I hit 13, 14 years old, I was pretty much running the house. I mean, women, it's just like she couldn't really discipline me. She couldn't really. Right?
There was no leader in that house, though.
Right? I was kind of. It was
13-year-old. If a 13-year-old's running the house, there's no leader in that house.
Not literally running, but I mean by.
No, you was running
more
it.
Stable one.
You was doing whatever you wanted to do.
My mom would get emotional, right? Mm-hmm. And I would calm her down. Like, hold up, we can do it like this. I mean, just because she's a female, right? So I don't think women are actually. There are women who are trying to lead men with, like, turn their sons against their dads and stuff like that, and yeah.
Do you think that was
not your job?
Yeah.
Do you think that was healthy, Ruthless?
In a lot of ways, no.
And this is and look, and nobody's ragging on you by any means, but like, do you think that is a part of why you've gone through some of the things in your life that you've gone through, growing up in such an unhealthy lifestyle at 13? Because at 13 you're still a child,
right? You
should still be enjoying your childhood,
right?
Okay, I'm gonna say this, right? In my experience, I'm gonna hold accountability. I hold accountability for my actions. Right? I'm not blaming my mom. I'm not blaming my dad who wasn't there. I'm not blaming America. When they took me up to trial and booked me, I grabbed cuz, let's do it. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to say.
How old were you?
When I get back. So what I'm saying, I'll take accountability for my actions.
No, that's good.
I knew the difference between right and wrong. See, no matter what parent, I have two parents or one parent, I know the difference between right and wrong. And
so maybe you don't understand what I'm asking you, right?
You're saying is it unhealthy for my mom? I'll be 13,
running the household.
Yeah, but
I'm not asking for you to blame your mother. I'm not.
But you're saying is my life because the way it turned out. Could that be because my mom was a single parent?
I'm not blaming again. I'm not blaming your mother. I'm not blaming your mother. I understand that you're going to be protective of your mother. I'm not blaming your mother. Okay. All I'm asking is, do you think that that unhealthy environment is part of the reason why your life went the way it went? That is all I'm asking. I'm not saying you should blame your mother. I'm not saying that.
Well, I actually wanted to be a basketball player. Just that's what I was grafted to. I practiced. So no, it wasn't. It had nothing. My mom and how my lifestyle had nothing to do with, the my choices that I made and the activities I committed. A lot of it was done to my greed and lust for something that didn't belong to me, but I thought I was entitled to it. So that just was what I seen and what I thought. It was wrong, right? But it was kind of I was influenced by just seeing a lot of nice things, seeing what people got, and I wanted to just do the shortcut.
Okay.
How old were you?
When I started my
when you started your sentence?
I was 24.
Got it.
And I was active from 18 to 24.
Got it.
Okay, so let's move on from that. I don't want to get stuck on that because we'll be there for a while. So I think
it's not the norm.
Huh?
It's not the norm.
Right. Well, who determines what the norm is? Right? That's another conversation.
No, numbers, but
well, some people become addicts, right? They don't choose to be addicts. They just go to a party and hit something, and then next thing you know, what happened to what's today, man? Why I just see some crack, man. It's
90% of people that do cocaine don't become addicts.
And that's not a really addictive drug. Like, you're right. But
you
like
know what
alcohol,
I mean?
alcohol.
Personalities get addicted to things.
Yeah. But it's no control, right? It just happens.
All right. So I'm going to ask this question, right?
Yeah.
How many of you guys are interacting with 17 with a kid 14 through 18 and are seeing hold on.
This nigga.
What the fuck?
Every weekend. I get my nephews every weekend. And I hate every single one of them. And they teenagers between their ages.
LA, do a commercial. Do a commercial.
Because this one, him and Blacks with the Fire always do this shit to me. And I got to take over their fucking stream.
Yeah, because we have families and things going on, brother. That's why. Give us a little bit of grace. God damn.
You shit. What's this show?
So
I want some of that cash app.
What was the question I was about to ask? Okay, so what are you guys seeing when you're interacting with young boys in this day and age? Like, today.
So back in the days, if you were successful in some type of ways and real cool,
Today.
Ruthless. 2023.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Interacting with young boys in 2023. Yeah, what are you seeing?
I'm just giving a comparison to bring it to that point. So back then, if you were successful, had a good image, dudes would listen to you. Now, because of social media and different access to things, they follow the money. So I don't think people are trying to hear so much. You can tell them, you say, hey, man, you need to go to school, get your education, you need to stay out the street, this and this and that. But then they fall into the things that they see that's immediately before them.
Got it. For myself, I selectively mentor boys who are already on a path that just need a little bit more of a push, because I think we give a lot of attention to kids who are already deep in shit and trouble, and then the kids that are doing somewhat well, they don't get a lot of attention. So right now I'm mentoring 3 different black males. 2 are 17, one's 15 years old, and they all have goals and they want to go to college and they want to do things, but they don't have any dads or really any positive male figures in their lives at all. So for me, what I see is them trying to fight against the current culture and also try to be quote unquote successful from their standpoint, and then being shunned by the folks around them because they have different interests like anime, One of them wants to be an engineer, so he's into science. The other one plays sports, and he can kind of camouflage himself in some of the bullshit. But for the most part, these are good kids who are just fighting a cultural narrative.
That's interesting. It's interesting because you're right. We do try to save the kids that are deep in the shit.
Yep.
And we kind of ignore the kids that are on the cusp of actually doing the right thing.
Right.
And that begs the question, do we just let the ones that are deep in the shit fall to the wayside and focus on the ones that will be productive?
Well, I would say yes and no.
It's subjective.
And I would say, yeah, I would say no. Let me start with no first. I think that they should get a chance, but if you look at most major metropolitan areas where the boys are getting in trouble, there are multi-million dollars being pumped in for programs already helping those kids.
But I don't want to, so let me interject real quick. I want you to finish your thought, but I want to interject real quick. Those multi-million-dollar programs are not being funneled to the children. They're being funneled to the administration. So that is kind of, it's not important, but those programs are really not designed to help. They're designed to funnel money into the pockets of Democrats.
Yeah, but that community accepts that.
Yes,
correct.
Right.
So, guys, sorry, I just wanted to say that.
And you're right, because I used to be somebody who ran those programs, but that's a whole nother thing. So some of that money does trickle down into community, but the strategies that are used for the money that does make it to the communities are bullshit strategies like midnight basketball. They're not getting to the actual crux of what's going on, and they're not dealing with culture. That's one of the bigger struggles. So I would say, yes, we do need some focuses on those kids, and we can even look at things like probation and how much money goes into there as well. But at some point, you have to say, what is too much? And that's where I got to the point where I was like, I'm going to let other folks do that type of work, and I'm going to focus in on the kids who need that push, who just need a little bit more help, because those are the kids who are going to be leaders in the community. And if I can't help them get, quote unquote, their minds on straight, they're going to end up falling victim to all this other stuff that's out here, and they're going to be just as useless as we see the politicians and folks, the administration, as you talked about, who get those funds. Because let's be honest, especially for Black folks, most Black young people who go to college, they have a mentality of, I'm going to get this degree to go back and help my community. But once they get into that system does not help them help their community at all. It helps them keep them in place.
Yes.
And that is one of the bigger issues that we have, is most of the folks who have the opportunity to really shift and shape the community think they're helping by really creating this bubble around the bullshit that we have going on, but they're not helping. They're keeping everybody where they need to be.
They're keeping everybody
and they don't even know it. They don't even realize that's what they're doing, because they have a DEI initiative and they're doing it for the culture, and they're supporting all the bullshit. That's why we make excuses for stuff that doesn't make any sense and it's not productive. So if we
could put a percentage on who we think, because this is going to be assumption. There are no stats. This can't be measured by stats. What do we think is the percentage of people that are helping the community that know they're bullshitting and know that they're keeping them stagnant and continue it anyway because it's financially beneficial?
Oh man,
because I think a higher number.
I think it's pretty high.
Yes, I think
I would
a higher
90%. Again,
really that high?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm in this world. I'm a professional Black man. I'm in Minnesota. I'm in this space. I'm the dude they call to go to all the meetings with the mayor and all that type of shit. Yes, most of those folks.
How sick that is.
Most of those folks, but again, some of them don't really understand what they're doing, because they've been indoctrinated in a liberal education system. I mean, I was this person. That's why I'm speaking on it. And I had a switch that clicked off when George Floyd died, and I was wondering, what the fuck is going on around here? This doesn't make any sense. And then that's when I had my awakening, and I started to think like, okay, I'm crazy. I'm leading folks down this path that is going the wrong way. Most of these folks think that they're doing this for the culture. They think that they're helping, but they're really not. They're really just feeding a victim mentality and a victim system, and they're leading people down a road that is not going to lead to anything productive. But since they show up to the meeting and they have courageous conversations and they do the DEI training, or maybe they're the facilitator, they think that they are combating white supremacy and that they're making the community better. And meanwhile, we got bodies dropping every week. And every time you look, it's somebody who's 17, 13, 14, 10. It's like they're not paying attention to what's really going on because they don't want to be honest about the culture. And what Mayo was saying earlier is the white community starting to feel this now because guess what? They're catching strays as well and hell from black folks. This is why you're seeing folks like Scott Adams start to come out like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to help because at this point in time, it's not beneficial to me. I want to just go ahead and live my merry life and be done. And I don't blame them for none of that. And I guarantee you we're going to start to see more white folks and other people, non-black, do the same thing.
Real quick, let me read this super chat from Double Brewski, a longtime member of the show. I'd like to buy this man a coffee. Thank you, Double Brewski. I will be headed to Starbucks as soon as this live is done.
It's a crazy dynamic.
There's a lot of people trying to solve problems in the community that also are not from the community.
And that is a big problem. That's a big problem.
There's a lot of black people trying to get their black stripes.
Yep.
Because they feel guilty because they grew up outside of the community.
Yep.
No, here's the thing though. They keep saying they're helping the community, but when people in the community start talking, they tell them to shut up and sit down.
Well, that's the thing, right? So so they don't want to be called coons or Uncle Toms, so then they play the game, right? They support the bullshit so that they can fit in and quote unquote be invited to the barbecue. That's where all this mentality comes from. So that's why Black Twitter. Go ahead.
Is it fair to say then that our community is large responsible for all these things that are happening?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. We don't want to be honest about anything.
Yes.
We don't want to be honest.
Well, I would say a lot of the blame goes to white liberals.
Accepted behavior.
Yes. And expected too, because
but now this is also trickling down. I mean, everybody goes through it, right? But particularly, everybody goes through it. Yeah, it's
Indians,
different.
Indians are not going
because we can't dictate people who are getting bullied. Right? We can't account for the people who are going through things when they're in elementary that messes them up, and then they hold it in, and then they just release. Right? Okay. It's things like that you can't monitor. Right?
If you look at Indians from India, colorism is a major problem in their society. I mean, if you're too dark a skin tone, they will not even talk to you.
Yep.
You got to hear an interesting fact. A lot of these people are affected largely when they're in elementary through their peers. You know, and there's been studies on this that people who get bullied, they're messed up inside. So it affects the community.
That's why they call them your formative years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody's gonna get their turn to be bullied or picked on, and in black communities, everybody's picking on everybody. So we can't use
not everybody, but
Black Thoughts. Were you picked on as a child? Did anybody ever tease you about anything?
I mean, not bully, but the normal run of the mill.
Yeah.
You know, just heating on one another. But I was never bullied, and I don't like bullies. Like I despise bullies. Right. But just your normal run of the mill.
Right. Yeah. And what did that look like? Like, what did people tease you? Or LA, you can hop in here too. Were you ever teased about anything?
I don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I was teased. I can't remember. It was so long ago, man. But it was just your normal run of the mill stuff, right? Because here's the thing: when I was coming up, right, I was poor, right, and I had 4 stripes, and 1 or 2 people would bring it up, but it wasn't as big of a deal as it is now for these little jigaboos who think that Jordans is the pinnacle of everything over education and everything going on in the world. It wasn't as bad as it is now. I'll say that.
Right. And I would agree, because now, and this gets back to the original conversation about the boy crisis. Now that masculinity has been whittled down so much, you can't even say something to a kid anymore, because they will feel like it is being bullied. There's no more flaming, frying, and roasting where it ends and everybody goes on about their day. Now it's time for
and there's no escape from it with social media.
Right.
But that comes back to the government, right?
24/7, 365. There is no more shelter of home.
Mm-hmm.
Hell
that comes back to the government now, right?
No, we're just coming from ignorant niggas. Are you
well, I'm just saying this.
I was just gonna say something. Hold on. We're not gonna start blaming government because of social media. Hold on. No.
Roof was crazy.
I'm not into this blaming culture.
Not blaming
the niggas.
All right. Let me hold on. As a parent, I control what my kids are watching, listening to, and seeing. All right. I do not have to let them, like, there are certain platforms that I don't let my daughters on for a reason. Right? Instagram is one of the worst platforms for little girls. Let me read this super chat here. Another 5 from Double Brewski. White liberals and welfare have done damage to the black community, combined with gangster rap glorifying drugs and drug behavior. Recipe for failure. Correct.
Man.
Absolutely correct. That is a Double Brewski. Thank you very much. That is a absolute fact. What he just super chatted.
Right.
It's a cocktail for failure.
It's time.
You see the white man support. You Negroes don't want to cut them checks.
It's time for black people to take their boot and kick the liberals out of their community. It's
you can't do that.
It's a failed experiment. It's a failed experiment that is leading to nothing.
Black Thoughts, you can't do that.
Why not?
Because then they're going to go to the cops or to higher superiors, and they're going to come back and hell it. That's my whole point.
The problem is,
I mean, the
government. Hold on. Ruthless. What the fuck are you saying?
Listen to me. What I'm saying
do you understand to what level I am referring to?
Yeah,
I don't think you understand on what level I'm referring to.
What I'm saying is America is running the homes. That's what I'm saying. You can't send your children like you want to because they can call police on you. They can even get adopted from you, right? You can try to discipline your kid. Hey, do it like this. But your government, with all these media sources, in schools, they're teaching that you can identify as whatever. Come on, man. This is in school. And there's kids, let's teach facts. Let's stay facts. Blacks. Kids spend more time in school than they do at home. So who's really teaching the kids, right? You can't trust your education system, then what are you going to do?
But you voted for that education system when you voted Democrat. Not you particularly, but the community voted for that education system.
Yeah, but it's flawed though because they are pushing agendas.
Here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing, though.
These agendas are to your detriment.
Here's the thing.
To your children's detriment.
I agree.
Here's the thing. Ruthless. When you watch those videos of parents fighting back against this, what's the nationality of these parents?
White.
Yep. Why is it that you never see any video of black parents going in there and saying, hold up, hold on, this is out of line?
Shout out to MRM because he did an amazing job.
He did. Shout out to MRM. Why is it that you don't see videos of black parents doing that?
I don't
because no. Give the fucking accountability where it needs to be. Don't go cop out. I don't know. No. You want to blame government. You want to blame this. Answer the question.
I'm saying
why you don't see videos of black parents doing that?
I don't know, but I would say this, right? that I'm not totally blaming the government, but they are a part of the problem. And the parents, a lot of black parents have to work a lot of hours. They maybe don't have the time.
No, you see, this always, but you know what? They got time to watch every episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They got time to know what's going on in every rapper's life. They got time to know what basketball player was sleeping with who. They got all that time, but as soon as it comes to their kid education, we ain't got no time. Miss me with that bullshit. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the excuses.
I can do that. I concede to that.
The sad part, there is going to be a sacrificial layer to this at this point. There has to be. There are kids that we're going to have to write off.
Correct.
And I hate to say, look at recidivism rates, man.
Yeah.
The system isn't working. And a lot of these kids we've already lost.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Look, right? We got a whole state where the kids are underperforming. You think that's a fucking accident? It's not one or two schools. That's an accident. When it's upwards to 30 schools, that's done on purpose. And no one's going to tell me that it's not. It's a failure on everybody's part. It's a failure on the parents' part. It's a failure on the school's part. And at the top, those fuckers, they burn in hell for what they've done to those children.
And Blk Thoughts, everybody's bitching about the money we're spending in Ukraine, right? I did the math on Baltimore for schools. They spend $21,000 a year per student on 77,000 students. Yep. That's $1.6 billion a year they spend. And these kids can't read.
Yeah.
Crazy. Hey, Patrick Bet-David, he had a short about private school versus public school versus, I think, charter school, something like that. And do you know how much public schools get when people say we need more funding? Do you know who they're next to in funding? The United States military.
Yeah.
Yep.
The United States military is close to $1 trillion, which that's another story. And then almost $600 billion goes to schools. Everyone else is like $50 billion. Like no one else is even near what the schools are getting.
Mm.
But they're talking about we need more funding.
It's not
Like, I have a question.
Why do we have teachers? Hold on. If they're making $500 billion, why are the teachers underpaid?
Because the administration.
Yeah.
That's where all this cost is in the administration.
So amazing how we talk about the programs in the community, administration's getting all the money. We talk about the schools, administration's getting all the money. We talk about all these things to help people, and administration seems to be the one getting all the money, and everything else is going downhill.
Blk, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think that the parents can control, or the teachers can control the mind of the children?
Do I think, well, if you're with this child and you're telling them something day in and day out, absolutely.
So you said that kids don't have the propensity to be disobedient?
For the most part, kids will be a little disruptive.
Okay. Some more than others, right?
It depends. That depends on, a lot of that depends on your environment. My children are not disruptive because they don't come from an environment where that's allowed.
Right.
Right. We need to talk about the home. You see, Ruthless, you have a propensity to try and push blame somewhere and shield self. I don't believe in that because that's a failing state. If you're not taking your own accountability, you're going to be a failure your entire life. And I'm not saying you, I'm just saying anyone who's trying to shield themselves of accountability.
Right.
So you saying the kids shouldn't have no accountability?
No, that's not even close to what he's saying.
No, I'm just asking. No, I'm just saying that's what he's saying.
No.
I'm saying should the kids assume responsibility?
Yo, Ruthless, I was deflated just now. You beat it out of me.
No, but kids shouldn't have to assume responsibility in the classroom.
Bingo.
No. I'm not talking about classroom. I'm just talking about far as mannerism, how they conduct themselves around others, being obedient.
Let Mayo go. Mayo was going somewhere with it. Go ahead, Mayo.
Yeah. These kids are not leaders in the classroom. They shouldn't have to question the teacher's intentions. The teacher should not be teaching social issues outside of the realm of sociology or psychology.
Especially if the kids are not proficient in reading and math. Like that should be the core focus. Like exactly. We should be talking about nothing else. If you got 10th graders who over 50% of them
real quick, hold on,
reading at a 3rd grade level, that's crazy. Go ahead.
Okay, 1 second. This is the dumbest comment up here. Everybody that know me up
Quack.
yeah, that's pretty funny. That is pretty good. But everything else is just all right. Anyway. Ridiculousness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question since we got a little bit of a break in here.
Sure.
And this is for whoever on the panel. Do you all think that manhood or masculinity is, in essence, is leadership at the end of the day? Like,
yes.
If you correlate those two things, are they one and the same?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Being a thinking Negro and a reader, one of the things that I often read are leadership.
Oh, you Negroes do that? I'm shocked.
Some of us do. I read books, and I read leadership books. And as I'm going through this and as I've done it, I've always thought this is what men are supposed to be doing. Every leadership book, every concept, I'm like, is this what men should be doing? Is this what men? I always ask that question. So to me, they're just one and the same. Cracks who defy and quack thoughts.
Yeah, hold on. Look, I'll put it back up. Hey, Kai, you read that?
That is wild.
Since when is your wife invisible? Is she invisible? I mean, maybe she wishes she was sometimes. But
yo, I have no idea. Like what?
I think he's confusing you with LA.
Troll's been here a long time, and he used to be a part of all the conversations. And I don't know. He doesn't want to be anymore. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
It's the internet, man. It's the internet. Someone may have said something that hurt his feelings, and then, so it is what it is. It is pretty funny though, Troll. I'll give you that. It is pretty funny.
Hey, Blk Thoughts.
Yeah.
Can I read this article?
Say it again.
Can I read this article about kids?
How long is it?
It's all take about less than a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
In the past year, the Washington Post has carried 7 stories about young people from this area accused or convicted of killing one or both of their parents. Parricide, the murder of a parent by a child, violates one of the most fundamental taboos of civilization. We choose to avert our eyes, prefer not to ask. Why? Could it happen in my house? The children fantasize about killing their parents is not unusual or even abnormal. Almost every child at some point in his or her young life has thought about killing their father or mother.
Okay.
So this is a study.
So what?
It's an article.
What? Okay, hold on. What is the point you're trying to make by reading that article out loud? Because there has to be a point to that that you feel is important.
Just the point thing is that a kid has a mind of their own.
Do you know that those kids have to be watching something or hearing something or seeing something that leads them to that point, that they don't have a good life, and they just wake up and be like, you know what? I just want to slaughter my parents.
That's speculation.
What the?
These people done studies on this, man. And this is not abnormal.
Yes, but thinking. How many kids have said they hate their parents?
Right.
Okay, that's my
I hate you.
I agree with you, Mel. But what I'm saying is this: kids have a mind of their own.
Hi, Rob's girl.
They don't agree with your ideas of the way you think just because you tell them this is the way life should be. If they don't agree with it, they may not tell you, but they might not agree with it and don't like it and don't like you.
Yeah, but it's the discipline of not acting on your feelings.
Right.
Because what you're talking about are feelings.
Right.
I ain't talking about nothing. I just read an article.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right.
So that's an emotion. That's
hatred.
The way they feel is based on emotions.
Well, that's everybody.
And they cannot control. Those 6 kids could not control their emotions.
Yo, Rufus, you all right? Did a kid recently tell you they want to slit your throat?
No, I hope my daughter did think that. Boy,
are you? Do you feel like? Are you being threatened by a 10-year-old, Ruthless? Keep it real.
No, me and my daughter, we have a great relationship. We have our dysfunctional moments where she's dysfunctional and I have to tell her things. But for the most part, I don't know what her thoughts are. I really don't.
I want to talk about your daughter. Maybe one of them 10-year-olds in South Central pull that thing out on you and was like, come up off that chain.
Hey, Black Thoughts.
You know what I mean? Twice if you're in danger, sir.
We know that rattlesnakes, right? Baby rattlesnakes, right? They're equated to children that they can't control their poison, right? Because they use it all. So kids are even more dangerous than adults because, like Mayo said, they don't have much control of their emotions, so they can't act out in a more dangerous way.
Do you know how kids gain control of their emotions? By being taught by adults. The reason why we have a bunch of emotional young men is because they were raised by emotional single mothers.
Right.
That's why fathers are needed in a home. I have to regulate my daughter's emotions. I have to let them know it's okay to be emotional to a point, but it can't get to irrationality. You have to regulate children's emotions in a healthy way.
We have to agree to disagree.
Okay.
We don't live in Peter Pan world where there's no adults.
I don't think you can control kids.
Yo, this guy's starting to get to Mayo. You can hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to go by his what he said, flip it around. How many parents kill their kids every damn day?
Right. Yeah.
That's not the point of this particular conversation, really. It's kind of derailing it into another thing. Because I could have, and it is on my mind, but I could have been like, 3 days ago, some white dude came right down the street from us, a little difficult still, and killed his entire family. Grandmother, mother, his own 15-year-old daughter, and her new husband. Slaughtered them right up the street. Disgusting. White dude.
Wow.
Me saying that is to say this. The girl went to school with my son. And it's emotional, and it's instead of, I don't understand this, but maybe Universal Jones has a take on this.
Sure.
My sons are raised by us. Myself and Uncle Tom are a lot alike. We've been married 20 years, friends before that. We're a lot alike and opposite at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not super over emotional, which I'm glad we have all boys because I'm not really the petting type. It's okay. Yeah. That's not me. I believe staunchly in boys having their dad and doing just dad things. I believe wholeheartedly in that. My 2 older ones are active military, great, not married, have no kids, 24 and 21. It's great. But let me ask you this. At school, now these kids, like I said, we're only about 5 minutes from the school, high school, middle school. I get an email. They told these kids, yes, so-and-so, the girl, has passed away. No.
She was murdered.
She was,
and they should.
When I say brutally,
I'm
brutally, have it on video. They literally have it on everybody's Ring cameras, everything. He was in and out 3-point-something minutes. Slaughtered an entire family.
Jesus
so 3
Christ.
Generations. Grandma, mom. Grandma wasn't 80. Grandma, mom, daughter, his own
daughter,
his own blood in the face.
Ex and her new partner.
All grown man, 40-something years old, all because she didn't want to talk to him anymore.
Yep.
Has a criminal past, mutilated her family dog in front of her. Didn't want anything to do with him anymore. But are we softening? Why are we softening things? Because it's reality that this happened.
Right.
All these kids know what happened. We live right here.
Right.
We live in the country.
And this is a teachable moment, especially for girls, on choosing a partner.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because it was the ex-husband.
Yeah, there's several moments here.
It's the new husband, not new. They haven't been together for a long time, I guess. That's a weird one. She had 2 sons too, 6 and 9. They were in the house. Witnessed all of it. He didn't touch them.
Wow.
They weren't his kids.
Wow.
But he killed their father.
Yeah, he still did hella damage.
Absolutely.
It's the most messed up, crazy, weird. I feel, you feel like you're missing something. No. This country area, everybody kind of knows everybody and they talk, and it was a family that's been here, has horses, like been here a while.
Sure.
But I don't understand, and I have a hard time with it. As a female, I have a hard time with it because but I don't understand why the difference between when my 24-year-old was in school.
Yeah.
Granted, it was not Florida. It was Hawaii, Texas, then back in Hawaii again, which was much better.
Sure.
But even here, so I can imagine being Florida and having DeSantis is easier than if we were in another state where they're really trying to, it's not demasculinize, but I'm making
pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Emasculate, I guess.
No, it's castration. It's
castration. But why are we softening everything? Why? Because these kids are already soft.
Right.
And I don't understand.
It's
and
control.
As a female, again, it's really difficult to be the mom because there's so many. It's so frustrating to be a female and to hear these females. They're so stupid. They're so a part of most of the problem.
Right.
They blame the guy. Now in this case, yes, the guy was crazy and he did.
Yeah.
Do I know the backstory of the rest of it? No. But I don't get it. I don't understand. And you probably see the backside of a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see.
Yeah.
But I wish more people did the mentoring.
Even with all the backside, it's just not an acceptable response.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't care what somebody did to you. Slaughtering your family is not one of the options.
Right.
Yeah.
And they should have known something was wrong with him when he slaughtered the dog. That was.
Well,
I mean, he's obviously got some
criminal history going back to 2005. It wasn't just that.
Yep.
So there you go with the criminal.
Yep.
It's all tied in.
Yeah. Exactly.
Blk Thoughts had this idea for this stream, and I think it's fantastic because it opens up something that I think he should continue on a weekly basis. to talk about, because I really think it matters so much. And I know that there's more females out there than just me that feel this way. Hard to find them, but that feel this way, that the dads matter so much in these kids' lives. I don't care if you're together or not. Right. It matters.
I had somebody on a little podcast stream ask me why I cared. Right? You know, because I'm on with most of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, talking about black issues. Well, guess what? Black issues affect the entire country.
Affect the entire country.
Right.
Yeah. We're all on the same team.
Still a human thing.
Right.
You know?
But part of the victim mentality is to accept this notion that we've been dehumanized by white folks, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that has happened in the past, but not today. But what you're talking about really is just this facade for control.
Yes.
Naturally, men oppose environments, and when you take that masculinity out, it allows for this foolishness to come in. And that's what's happening. So the reason why they sent out the notice and they really watered down what happened was just their way to keep the kids at bay so they can come to school next week.
Yep.
That's it. That's it. And they'll have counselors there if you need.
That's what they did.
And
they brought in golden retrievers for them to pet.
Yeah, they have therapeutic puppies and dogs for you. Come on in. We'll forget about her. We'll move on till the next kid commits suicide or the next fight happens.
Yeah,
and we're just gonna do the same shit over and over again instead of saying we had a major incident take place in our community. You know, this is going to affect thousands of us, and we should rally around this family and support those two little kids, and also, you know, understand. But we don't have a community-based school system anymore.
Nope.
Every school works from an individual to a district level, and not necessarily the communities they're in. And the communities that they're in don't support the schools. Most people don't go to conferences or PTAs or none of that shit. They only go to games that matter, and that's it.
That's it.
It's all full cycle. It's all full circle.
Yeah. Hey, King Shenard, if you would like to come up and give us a cohesive thought on why you feel I'm rambling for nothing, you're welcome to do that. If not, you're just a buffoon writing words in a chat with people that are much more highly educated than you.
You tap dancing, bro. You tap dancing. Come tap dance with us. Come tap dance.
Yes, sir.
I just think that the title of the show is, what is it? Kids Crisis.
The Boy Crisis.
Boy Crisis.
And it's not lost on me that girls are in crisis as well.
Yeah, but because we're talking about boys right now,
yes,
they have to be held accountable too, though.
Oh, and that's one of the problems, is that they're not being held accountable.
Right.
Absolutely.
What does that look like?
Behaviors are being excused across the board.
Constantly. Yep. Constantly.
They got to be held accountable.
Yeah, parents and caregivers, I'll say it that way since we have all these different types of families, should be the first ring of accountability. But what has happened in most urban settings is that they've allowed the police to be the first ring of accountability. And now that you've pretty much deflated what the police are supposed to do and defunded most of them, now you're leaving it up to the justice system. And they are so lenient with these kids. You should see some of these, they're called TIFs here in Minnesota, where we get these rap sheets of these young dudes who are on probation. Man, they got so many charges for so many different years. It's crazy. It's like, I wish I could show you all some of the shit that I see. It's insane. You'll have like a 16-year-old who's on probation. He'll have domestic charges, weapon charges, motor vehicle charges, all these different charges, and he's out. He's barely on probation. Probation officer can't find him, running around trying to figure out where this kid's at. Meanwhile, he's on the same block he was on that he got arrested on, and everybody just acts like we don't know what's going on.
But you know that's a
shit to keep going.
Hey, but you know that's a trap, right?
Yeah,
you know they're all being set up for a huge trap getting ready to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2.0.
What trap is that, Black Thoughts?
Crime Bill 2.0. It's coming.
You think listen, you think they put Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, two of the biggest black people haters, in office for no reason?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. And you think that they're going to keep letting motherfuckers get away with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 crimes? And you just going to be walking the streets chilling? Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get 100 years, hands down, and nobody's going to bat an eye, because when they read the list, and then they're going to say, and we gave you every opportunity to do better.
Yep.
And you're going down. Whereas now, some person, right, and it ain't many, but some people do a crime, go to jail, come out and say, you know what? That was a little too much for me. I want to turn my life around. Now they're not given that opportunity no more. Go out.
Take it away.
Yep. Go out, commit 10 crimes, and come back to us when we can give you 300 years, please.
Yep.
That's a trap.
And this is going to usher in.
You really.
Camera systems, everything.
Let me just finish up real quick, Mayo, please. You really think that they letting these people just get away with that? You don't think that this is leading to something larger, Ruthless?
I think so.
Okay.
I think ultimately, I think they have an agenda.
Yeah, that's why they gave you two of the biggest black haters for you to cheer for.
I didn't cheer for. Why y'all put me back?
He's not talking to you.
I'm not Democratic. I don't vote for that.
Hey, listen, it's not every little thing is not just about you. This is a broader conversation. All right, they have blacks. Look,
generalizing.
Look, they had
more than half the country voted for these morons.
Exactly. Yeah. They had black people crying in the streets over Joe Biden. Think about that. Think about that.
Man,
like
that's pretty scary there.
Like Kamala Harris, look at her record.
Yeah.
What's her record like?
I hate you niggas.
What? You lying.
You're in LA, right?
Yeah.
You're in LA, right?
You're in California. Yeah.
Go look it up.
I know she said that.
Go look it up. That's her record. I hate you niggas.
What?
Dude, she kept guys in prison for free firefighting labor.
Yeah.
Past their dates. She laughed about locking people up for weed. She was smoking at the same time.
Yep. And you think that they have black interest in mind? We don't even have to go down Joe Biden. We know how he feel.
I do believe America's a trap, though.
Anyway, let's move on. Yeah.
Then move. If you think America's a trap. Don't stay in it. Don't take the bait. Leave.
Yeah, so I think I think boys have to be held accountable, and part of the problem is that we're not holding them accountable. We are just letting them do what they want to do, and therefore they become fodder for the prison system. Because if you don't know, a lot of your jobs are moving to the prison system.
Yep.
And somebody has to work that labor.
And the prison system is good for the economy too.
Oh, it's about to be.
I remember when I was working. Hey, Black. I remember we was in prison.
It's going to be tradable on the stock market.
Hey, we was working on missile launchers.
See?
I'm like, what is this?
And how much? And look, how much would they have to pay us? Sorry, Tom, real quick. How much would they have to pay us on the panel to do that job outside?
Oh, that's easy 6 figures. Easy 6 figures. You're talking about missile guidance systems. We're put together for 25 cents an hour.
It's cheaper to let someone be a dumbass for a few times than lock them up for 25 years and make them do it for free. And guess what? Yeah. As long as they're harming somebody in their own community, what do we care?
Yeah.
Here's the problem, right? Dumbasses choose to go to prison. So, in that respect, that's the reason why I don't respect. It's much easier to get that fucking job, right? and make those 6 figures and not have a nigga tell you what to do and give you 25 cents for fucking doing the work that I would do for motherfucking 6 figures. That's crazy to me. Now, on top of that, you do have the prison system being traded on the stock market. They're called bonds. That's exactly where they're already traded on. So it's not like it ain't already been done. Some of the most fucking places, like when you see fucking shit happen in these communities, they gonna pay out to these people. They pay it out through the bonds. They don't pay it out through, man, this shit is ridiculous how much money is being funneled through the prison pipeline. But niggas and dumbass white folks continuously do dumb shit to get their ass in prison.
Everybody, every race. You talking about every race.
I know, but listen, I know every race goes to jail. Woo, woo, woo. Who gives a fuck? You know, we only got one race, which is the human race. Everything else is ethnicity. Stop with the wrong speech, because that's what you're wrong speeching right now. Because the right speech is every ethnicity has their fucking criminals. I get that. I don't. Was that? But my thing is, y'all are talking about something that's already been happening. It's been happening for eons. And you got Japan that have now latched on to the American style of selling bonds and trading these bonds that accumulate to nothing. And that's why Japan is going bankrupt. You can't find a motherfucker. They can't sell a bond to no one because they took on to the American way of living. It's crazy. But that's why they say, so as America goes, damn near the whole world goes. It's true. We fucked everybody up. Shit. But if you think it's better somewhere else, why don't niggas just go? You say you tired of being in a white capitalistic fucking country, then go to a nigga-filled country. But you won't do it. Why? Because you scared of motherfucking change, and you know deep down inside, America is the only place that you motherfuckers fit in, because ain't no other place think of you as that but America. And that's your motherfucking problem. You hate America so much you love it in the same fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my mic's muted. I digress.
We are in a codependent relationship with this country, and then we don't want any allegiance to the nationality. It makes no sense.
But here's what's funny, right? If you really pay attention, it's only black people that gets into this practice, because the other nationalities saying it are just pretending.
Right.
They know it's foolishness.
Right.
Muted, black.
So again.
No, go ahead. I was talking to my daughter. Go ahead.
So again, like I was saying, I said on another panel, I don't know if it was mine or somewhere else. Niggas ain't got nowhere to go. Niggas in Africa don't want your ass over there. Listen, there's a reason why they sold your motherfucking ass you sold your ancestors into this bullshit, because they didn't even want you in, nigga. The fact that these niggas want to cry and complain about the motherland, the motherland didn't want your ass. Your ass was slaved over there. They never did.
Uncle Tom, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Are you saying that we're complaining about being here in America?
Oh, fucking for fuck's sake, yes.
That's not what we were talking about, though.
We're
talking about boys.
Okay. What the boy crisis niggas is stupid. I mean, I've been saying that for a long time. These kids is dumb, and ain't nothing you can do to solve these dumb ass niggas for doing their dumb shit. If your parents ain't in your motherfucking life, they just as dumb as them dumb ass niggas out there. If I see another little child wear a motherfucking bonnet to school, I might go goddamn crazy. Because you know that the motherfucking females is the one that allow their kids to go outside with motherfucking bonnets on their head, looking like a goddamn chef out in this bitch, looking stupid in a motherfucker. Fuck out of here. I'm sick of these motherfucking women acting like these niggas is bitches. The reason they bring these little boys into being bitches, because that's what the fucking world wants us to be, is little bitches.
Fact. That's the fact.
I'm gonna say, if y'all can't see that shit, I don't know what y'all just as dumb as them niggas. You might as well be with them dumbass niggas, because this is crazy. No, I've never seen. I'd much rather be motherfucking Russian now. At least I know they allow their men to be fucking men.
Yeah.
Here, these motherfuckers going, you need therapy. Shut the fuck up. What you need is to grab your motherfucking nuts and call it a goddamn day. But no, that's too evil to say to these motherfucking goddamn pieces of shit, fluff feather ass pussies around here.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Expounding upon your feelings.
Got a lot off your chest, brother.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel. But
is
it a black pepper stepper?
But guess what? But guess what? He's correct though. As harsh as some people might want to act like he is, he's absolutely correct. Is that these boys are tenderized, and that's because there is no fathers in the home. And we want to continue to act as if this is not a problem.
So I have a question. You said, wait, can you repeat that? Are you saying the boys are actually living because of they're in single homes?
Boys are what?
You said boys are acting because they're single homes?
Wait, boys are what?
Are you saying the boys are being demasculated and acting the way they're acting because they're single parent homes?
A lot of that comes from the single parent home. Yes. A lot of that comes from single parent homes. Let me tell you something, Rufus. When you grew up in a single parent home, when I grew up in a single parent home, it's very different from the single parent home of 2023. So when you hear that, don't get triggered.
I'm not triggered.
Okay? What it is now is
I would say, okay, go ahead.
What it is now is that the woman is so brainwashed and so anti-male that they don't want any male to even have any masculinity around their son.
That's a fact.
They don't want any of that. Whereas when you and I grew up in because I'm from a single parent household, when you and I grew up in a single parent household, there was an uncle or an aunt. Excuse me, or a cousin, or maybe even a neighbor that if you did something, they would say something to you and say something to the mother, and the mother would be like, "Oh, you're out here acting an ass." Guess what? What do you have now? Someone's little badass bastard can run up, punch someone in the face, and you can go tell the mother, and the mother will be like, "What? Don't talk about my kid, my Johnny. He didn't do that. I'm gonna fight you." Did you have that back in the day? You had that, here and there, but you didn't have that as a common theme.
I agree. It's got the verse.
That's a common theme in 2023.
Yeah, it's got the verse.
Black Thoughts. Good afternoon to the panel. Shout out. What's going on, brothers?
Hey, what's up, David? How are you? Thank you.
I'm doing good, sir. I just wanted to come in and see if we need to do an intervention with Uncle Tom, because I heard a lot of yelling and shouting, and I'm really concerned about my friend here, because he really started to express himself in a manner that I'm not used to hearing him talk. So I just wanted to make sure that Kai and all you guys are okay, because the way this guy is going off, man. Black Thoughts, you might have to help out here, brother. I'm kind of concerned here.
Well, the problem is I'm not even mad, right? It's just the point that I hate this I like we're having a conversation, but I hate the conversation in the same manner, because you see these kids out here, but everything you see on TV is that men are always bad, and he's absolutely right. Oh, fuck these niggas, and that's in the black community. In the white community, they all need that. These boys need therapy. And just like Mayo was talking about, they want to put all men in a bubble with the schooling. There's no reason that men should have to sit there with their arms folded and act like that's a way of learning. That is not the way men fucking learn. I'm sorry. You shouldn't. But If they move too much, well, hold on. If they move too much or they act out because they're bored, that's what they do. We need to give them some pills. We need to give him some pills to slow his ass down. That's bullshit.
Well, here's the thing, though, Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom, I agree with you 100%. You know, and with what you're saying, Blk Thoughts talks about this a lot when he comes up on the panel, and we all kind of discuss it. But what people don't understand, this is a systematic design, and the stuff I've been reading is just sickening because that's what they want. Like Blk Thought said, it took a village to raise a child. Back when I was growing up, you got your butt beat by the whole neighborhood, period. Now, the state has become the parent. The parent is non-void. He or she, doesn't matter where it's two-parent home or single family home. The state takes over the child and they decide what they want to be. Just like the gender dysphoria and the gender identity crisis that we're going through. It's really not a crisis. It's just pure BS is what it is. So what we have to do as a people and as parents and as a nation is stop this foolishness. And we become so docile. I was listening to a program when I was working out. I was listening to these people, and they're absolutely right. We have become so docile, and as they call us useless eaters and sheep, that we just go for this stuff unwillingly. You know, we just do it just all willingly. Oh, well, you know, just let, you know, it's the government, you know, we're just going to go ahead and just accept it. Like Blk Thought said, Johnny, you know, let Johnny be Johnny. And, you know, they running up in houses, robbing, stealing, you know, pillaging and all the rest of this stuff. And then you shoot them. Oh my God, they shot my Johnny. Jesus, Lord help us. They shot Johnny. Why did they have to shoot him like that? Tell Johnny to stop stealing.
But nobody, folks' house. But nobody was concerned with telling Johnny to chill when he was backing it out on grandma.
Hey, nobody, please, bro.
Nobody was concerned to telling Johnny to stop. But as soon as they laid Johnny down, now all of a sudden Johnny was a good kid and he needs justice. Yeah, Johnny got what he needed to be laid down.
That's true too. That's true too.
Yeah.
I have another question. Do you believe in God?
Where is this going to go?
Just ask the question.
Where is this going to go?
If you ask the question, I'll elaborate.
If I believe, okay, let's say I believe in God, right? I still believe that Johnny should get laid down.
Okay, I'm just asking yes or no question. Do you believe that there's a
Johnny should get laid down? Yes.
Do you believe that God's going to judge us one day?
Of course, everyone will be judged one day.
Okay. I just want to know.
And Johnny got his judgment here, and he'll get his judgment later, hopefully, because Johnny can't run around being a terrorist. Talk about only God can judge Johnny. No. 9mm could judge Johnny too.
Hey, Blk Thought, here's another thing too, Uncle Tom. Well, you know, you guys can attest to this. That's when we had the quote unquote summer of love, when they was burning down the freaking nation. That's what gave these children permission to just absolutely go crazy. There was no accountability. They going to school acting a fool, cussing the teacher out. And, you know, the mother coming up there acting a fool. What you doing talking to my son? And, you know, and the videos go, you can see them on YouTube, TikTok, and all over social media where they're fighting teachers and stuff. This is getting ridiculous, man. You know, yet and still, you know, the nation, the borders are open. The immigrant has more rights than the citizen, you know, the sovereign person, those who were born here in the United States, you know. So when all this stuff comes out, it all connects, man. It all connects, and people don't realize this stuff, you know. But like you said, this generation, for us, we're gonna live our lives out, and then when we close our eyes, the ones that's coming behind us,
I want to say I feel sorry for him, but it's like, if you guys don't get your act together, you're going to get what you deserve. And then you're going to look at all the old heads that's in senior citizen homes like, hey, how did this happen? And what's going on? We tried to tell you, but y'all didn't want to listen. This is the utopia that you guys wanted. This is the thing that you guys wanted so bad. So it's like, man, you guys go head on with that. Me, Uncle Tom, Kai, Black Thoughts, the rest of these guys, we're just going to live our lives. If this is the life that you want, go ahead. But don't bother me with your foolishness. And I'm not going to identify with you with your freaking personal pronouns either.
That's a fact.
You get that Kai, too. I'm not doing that mess.
Hey, Kai, could you drop the link for Cal? Because you know what? He might be able to identify some things that we haven't been able to identify simply because he is young and can may be able to speak to this. Please.
What do you mean you can't identify? What was that statement about?
So come up.
Oh, you don't need the link? Okay.
No, yeah. He said it's there. I don't know why he didn't hit it and come up.
All right.
Hey, Black Thoughts.
Is he in the back? Let me see.
Black Thoughts.
Yeah.
What was that statement you just made? You said we're not identifying. What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
You said he can maybe not identify. We can't identify with what's going on.
Right. He may as a young guy coming up, he may see some things that we don't see. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Huh?
Evil is evil, man. People just being evil.
What? Wait. I understand that.
That's the only thing you gotta understand. If you understand that, you understand everything.
No. But in regards to the boy crisis, right? There might be things going on within that. Maybe things that he has heard that we haven't seen, haven't heard, that we're not aware of. That's all I'm saying. Yes, evil is evil. No one's going against that. Yeah. So let's continue the conversation.
Well, you didn't hit the link?
Huh?
You can't hit the link?
No, he got it, and I'm about to add Mayo right now.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, Cal?
Yeah, hey man, how are you?
All right, so what's your take on what we've been talking about as far as the boy crisis and everything?
You got to forgive me, Blk Thoughts. I've literally just joined about a couple minutes ago. I didn't realize you guys were live, but I know you were doing it. I thought it'd be a later one. But I know you were talking about the boy crisis, how like what's it, the kids growing up, how like you explain it to me. Do an overview for me, because I remember when you were talking about last night, I related to a lot of what you were saying.
No, we were just talking about what they're doing to young boys, and I was wondering if you, being young, coming up during the beginning of when they were trying to emasculate boys, if you saw something that we didn't touch on, if you went through something that maybe we're not seeing.
Well, what's it? I've lived with a single mother since I was 14 or so, and I gotta say, growing up,
Bob, mute your mic real quick, Bob.
Growing up at school and that, if you were struggling at all, they would try and I'd say, well, there's been plenty of times in my life. I'll tell you what, I'm a fully straight male. Plenty of times in my life when I was on my own, I didn't have a father figure around. Teachers would assume, oh, this boy hanging out with the girls or with the fruity children, and they would talk to me. Oh, are you comfortable with your sexuality? Are you doing anything to yourself at home? They thought I was a self-harming gay man because I didn't have a dad, pretty much.
I can see that. I can see that.
I've never put anything to my arms. I've never put anything around my neck. I've never done anything like that. But they'd always have meetings with you, and they would try and kind of normalize self-harm, normalize falling into like a gay group.
Hey Cal, real quick, just 1 minute, guys. I gotta help my daughter with something, so just continue the conversation. I'm listening in the background. I will be right back.
LA, you right back on time.
You know my nephew here. I gotta make sure he don't say no dumb shit.
Yeah.
Black Thoughts, I hold it down. Gary Kyle was a gay story when you used to mess with the boys.
No, I've never. No. They would normalize self harm and stuff like that. There were a lot of people who struggled at my school, not necessarily boys as well, but say if you were to like do an attempt on your life, it's almost like you are the biggest thing at school. So it was like if you were doing the worst, they would treat you the best, kind of thing. And if you were doing good, they wouldn't care about you. So when I was succeeding at school, I didn't really get any support or anything like that. But when I was sad about like my situation at home, they would talk to me about like all this stuff I didn't even know about. So like I learned about how people like twisting their arms from a teacher. He was telling me how to do it, which I never understood personally, because this is when I was like a young growing lad. So when you're a young growing lad and you're not doing too well, and a teacher's saying, yeah, what you do is people put razors in their arm and twist.
What?
Like that's what I got taught, that by a teacher. Because I said I'm not too happy at home, I can't focus in class. And they go, well, are you self-harming? I go, no. And then he goes through every single method of self-harming. He tells me if you take too much of anything, you can overdose. He tells me if you put razors in your arm, you can hurt yourself. He tells me about all this stuff. And like I learned this stuff from teachers. And there were a lot of kids in my year where they'd walk around with like bandages from the bottom of their wrist to the top of their arm. And it was almost like, I hate to say this because it's a bad thing, but it was almost like it was something cool. But like the kids in bad situations. Not everyone was in my position. Some people had it worse, some people had it better. But it was almost cool and normalized by teachers to be hurting yourself if you're in a bad place. And you take time off for class, they wouldn't care, they wouldn't do anything about it. You'd get bad grades because you're not in the class. But they would normalize bad behavior for me. I was taught all this stuff by teachers, and also without a father around, you can't exactly go up to your mom and be like, yo mom, how do I shave my face? Or yo mom, how do I do this or that or the other? Like, you need male guidance for a young growing lad, 110%. I've had to figure
stuff.
Oh yeah, I still feel like it, man. That's why I'm such like I'm a happy person, yeah. I'm a happy person, but there's plenty of things you talk about, and I don't have a clue what you're talking about because I'm not.
That's what I'm trying to teach you.
I know I've grown up around a single mum. All my cousins are female, apart from one who's in the center of the city where I can barely go because it's just expensive and far away to even see them. I've literally grown up around women my whole life, and it was normalized. Like, I had plenty sit downs where it's like, whoa, do you feel like a woman? Well, this, that, do you feel feminine? The whole time I was like, no, man. Like, I've never felt like I'm a woman trapped in a boy's body.
They try to turn you gay?
That's what I'm trying to say. I've had plenty sit downs about, do you feel like a woman? Do you like men? Are you hurting yourself? Those three things were constantly brought up over my childhood. I'm not transgender, I'm not gay, and I don't want to stick a razor in my arm. But these things were like normalized to me because I just simply said to people, yo, kind of struggling a bit. Or, yo, I don't feel so good. Because when you're a young lad and you go through some stuff, obviously it's going to hurt. But I sat down in class, I did my work, put my head down, got my grades, got the hell out of there. But I got to tell you, the amount of sit downs I had is pathetic stuff, and a lot of people don't talk about that because a lot of people, they're just like, oh, it's just whatever. And I don't know if this is like my liberal area or the UK or what, but regarding young men without fathers in the home in the UK, a lot of them turned into extremists, like full on. With all these terrorist stories out the UK, it usually starts off with living with his mum, quiet at school, joined ISIS. So the young men, they're easily groomed, and that's why you get all the young boys as well on the county line selling drugs, thinking they're drill rappers, carrying knives in their trousers. I saw my first like proper knife at my school. So the school where they were telling me, like showing me pictures on how people self-harm. There was a girl who got expelled. I can see if the article's still here because I remember the guy's name. I don't want to put it publicly though.
It's a lot of single moms in the UK.
Yes, because it's glorified because you get money as a single mother with a kid. The government pays you. Yesterday, that article about Laura and her lover boy in Detroit in the jail cell, the short ass. She has 4 kids. 2 of the kids are autistic, so she gets £500 per autistic kid per month, and £350 per month per other kid. So she has 2 autistic kids, makes £1,000 a month out of it, and then £350 a month for the other 2 kids, makes £700. So she makes £1,700 a month, sitting down and just having 4 children that's popped out of her. Because she doesn't want. You can simply say, "I've popped out a kid. I don't want to work." And the government's like, "Yeah, here's some benefits," and they sit down, they live off that. That is their job. They sit down, they're fat, they eat crisps, and they pop out kids. So that's why I always talk about welfare babies, how people are born just for a paycheck from mummy and daddy, and they have no purpose. And that's how they turn to crime. That's how they turn to self-hate. That's how they turn violent. It's a lot of things. But I'm very fortunate that I had good enough friends and like a somewhat wise enough mind. I'm not the wisest person, but somewhat wise enough mind to be like, I'm seeing all this stuff around me. They're clearly trying to make me think a certain way, and I don't want to think that way. So I'm just going to ignore it. And that got me into a lot of trouble too, is ignoring advice. People thought they had the best advice for me. They thought they could tell me what to do. And I'd be like, I don't want to do that. And then it would backfire. They'd almost insult me for it. I remember there was, I didn't want to hang out with a certain group of friends. And this is when it was all kicking off for me, when I was about 14, 15. I don't want to hang out with a certain group of friends. They were trying to force me into a friend group, like the teachers would decide my friend group. I'm like, I don't really like these people. I mean, I work with them in class, but I'm not going to hang out with them. And they were like, I was there for half an hour with them trying to say, well, why are you not being nice to students? Why aren't you being nice? Because I didn't want to join a certain friend group. And I'll tell you now, I'll be brutally honest. The friend group was 2 girls and a load of puffs. And it's just not my thing. So they try and normalize this behavior on you. It might work for some people, it didn't work for me. I saw a lot of stuff growing up. It didn't mean I want to follow it. I mean, I've already had a friend who's died of an overdose from those fake oxy pills. It happens in the UK. People don't realize. It wasn't fentanyl though. It was just whatever, some research chemical. But I've had a friend stabbed in the head by 15-year-olds. I've had a friend overdose and die. I've seen a knife in my school. I've seen all sorts, man. But still, if I didn't have such a free mind and a free will and a sense of what I want to be and who I am, I honestly think they could have easily transformed me into whatever they want me to be, like Play-Doh, you know? Like I'm a tub of Play-Doh and it's like, oh, this kid's struggling. Let's shape what I want this kid to be. So there was a lot of forced implementation that didn't work, really. I'm sorry if this is a bit of a ramble and a bit of a rant. But yeah, when young men don't have a father figure at all, like not even a brother, an uncle, mum's friend or anything like that, just no father figure at all to look up to, that is no good. And there's not a single good thing that comes from it. Blk Thoughts wants insight from a UK Gen Z MF. It's probably because of the topic, King Shinard. I know it's gone over your head a little bit. But I think it's about the generation of boys who are in crisis, which is what I'm talking about, Shinard. Is Shinard just starting shit in the chat again today?
I mean, you have an insight from a different place where most of these people think it's better to be. I mean, I don't know how many times it's horrible to be in America, but somewhere else where it's mostly a fucking white country, especially a systematic country like Sweden or Norway or these places where they think it's good to be living like these people. You know, they have active socialism, but they really don't. But they think it's better to live there. But it's an actively white country, damn near full-fledged white country.
Hey,
but
check this out.
That's better.
Go ahead. Sorry. You see, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, King Shinard. The reason why I asked Cal for his input is because I don't see nothing wrong with giving him an opportunity to tell his story as a young male growing up. I can't give him his story. So I'm asking him for his thoughts on it because he's younger and he may see something that we don't see in what's going on with the way males are being treated. That's all. Like, so, you know, it's going over your head because you just want to come over here and spout a bunch of nonsense instead of just having a real conversation or asking why.
I shouldn't have given him any notice, bro, but I'm just being honest about that sense. But I got to say now as well, this is one thing I forgot. Young white men are the most unloved, disrespected group of young men in the country that I'm in. Young white straight men are the most. They don't care about you. You're just another young straight white boy to them. They don't care. And I would say that if you were a follower of Islam, if you were a young Muslim man, you are the most protected, the most loved, the most. You could do a horrific thing. You could be in the hallway and beat someone up just because you feel like it. And a young straight white man would get punished way worse than a young Muslim man because of how our culture is regarding cancel culture. I mean, our grooming gangs? There were kids being groomed, drugged, and raped for 30 plus years. And the whole reason the police didn't pursue these cases is because they were scared of the community's response if it comes out that all these grooming gangs are 85% Pakistani male, which is a fact. It's a fact. It's a statistic here. 85% of all men who are in grooming gangs, giving kids drugs, doing these to kids, trafficking children. 85% Pakistani male, yeah. And
the reason I'm gonna tell you why I believe you, right? So when I was in Afghanistan, right? I know it's not Pakistan, but I know they all free flow through those three countries: Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan. Those three countries. They have man love Thursdays, literally, where they actively seek other men on these days. Like it's a real fucking thing. And I don't know how many people I gotta tell that these dudes literally look for. They told me, look, a woman is for reproduction, and the guys are for fun and pleasure. And I thought that was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. But I digress. My mic.
So, Uncle Tom, we had an Afghan border patrol base on my fob. And every Thursday we would have to check their vehicles for children.
That's wild.
I'm telling you, they act like it doesn't exist. I'm telling you, it is ridiculous.
So I'll say this, right? Here in America, Cal, males are white males are demonized, and so are black males. There's this veil under Black Lives Matter that this country is not demonizing black men as well. It's all males. All males. Because Black Lives Matter is about the matriarchy. It has nothing to do, it really has nothing to do with black people in general. But males in general are being demonized across the West. I'll say that.
Yeah, over here it's not. They don't really care if you're black and white unless you're a black person trying to accuse someone of racism. That's pretty much how it works here. Is here no one cares if you're black or white here. Like you could be brown, purple, yellow. No one really cares. It's more to do with the culture and the faith that you reside with. That's why, like in the UK, you always hear about like young male, and it could be anyone. But say I would say the UK is more scared of being called racist towards Islam than it is towards a black individual. Because we have plenty of people here from Africa. Plenty of Africans come to the UK to earn money here, send money back, and live a good life in the UK. And a lot of Africans work harder than half the white people born here. So like regarding black people, it's only if you go to like the skinhead towns where, you know, it's the football hooligans drinking beer every night. They go into pubs, they watch games. Maybe they'll call you a black C word, maybe. But over here, it's all to do with like your faith, your following, your religion. And it's mostly a fear of ever being like called racist, so you lose your job. That's what happens in a school, especially if you treat someone differently. So say like if you went too harsh on that young Muslim student, if you went way too harsh on him, mummy and daddy comes in, they tell the paper you're out of a job. You will lose your job. If you do it to a white boy, you get told off by the head teacher and you go back to class. That's pretty much how it is here. But you've really got to like write out on a board hard R N-word to a black person for it to be considered racist here. Like it's not really black and white here at all.
You know, again, it's happening. Yeah, no, I see it. It's coming. Yeah, man, it's getting bad out here for males in general, and I think that you know, I really don't know, Bob. I actually disagree with that, Bob. I disagree with that. I don't. Well, yes. Well, okay. I disagree with a part of that. All right. All straight males are under the gun. Absolutely. But I don't see black males getting away with things unless it's about criminalizing them. Because you may have missed it earlier, but we were talking about this letting them get away with things. That's a trap. That's not because anyone genuinely wants to let black men be criminals. That's a trap.
That's bad too, to let someone get away with stuff over and over, because it normalizes it at a young age. All the spoiled kids that I know growing up, all the ones that were super, super spoiled are now the ones who are up to no good or they're drug addicts. All the ones that would, like, you know, they had like strict parents, they were told no once in a while, they're doing their thing. But there's plenty poor and rich kids I know who got away with everything, who were told like, oh no, he's fine, he's just being him. All those kids now are either like young dads, knocked up, or drug dealers. Like,
we've seen this cycle before.
Yeah.
With crime and rising crime, and people who were not alive in the 90s don't realize we're nowhere near that level yet. Our crime rates in the cities are nowhere near the levels they were back when the 94 crime bill was initiated.
I think London was worse than New York the other year, something like that.
Yeah, but New York was the safest city in the world, large city in the world, because they cracked down on crime.
Yep.
But that will never happen again. These cities, I don't think, will ever go that route again.
Stop and frisk is racist here now. I used to have stop and frisk in London, and a lot of knives came off the street, and now it's racist, apparently.
But what people don't understand about stop and frisk, because they follow the media narrative, these were usually known criminals that had paper on them already that they were stop and frisking.
Yeah, I grew up.
This wasn't like General Joe walking down the street going to buy milk at the store. These were players in the criminal game.
And he's right, because I grew up in New York under stop and frisk. And I could tell you, there was never a moment where I was randomly being stopped and frisked, because I wasn't a player in the game. So I cannot say, yeah, stop and frisk was a bad thing and it was affecting me. No, it wasn't, because I wasn't in the game.
You were a law-abiding citizen, huh, Blk Thoughts?
That's it. I mean, listen, when you're young, you do your little stuff, but for the most part, I wasn't in the game. And so I didn't have problems.
Right.
It's simple.
I've only been searched once, and it's because it was me and my two friends got searched, nothing found, but my other friend had a jar of weed on him, some other stuff on him. That's the only reason we were searched, is because he was going around a park showing everyone, look what I got. And he's just showing all these random strangers a jar of weed. So then some officers came over, searched me, my friend, and then the other friend. And the other friend got done for possession. It's the only time I've ever got searched. I've never had any issues with police whatsoever, apart from COVID. I was parked in a car park once. I was playing Switch with my friend. You know, when COVID first happened, they said you're not allowed to leave your house. I was like, you know, F this. Picked up my friend, went to the skate park, just sat down, started playing Switch in the car. At 3 a.m., these police just showed up. They're like, what are you two up to? That's the only issue I've had with police, is like be searched because my friend did something, and then because of COVID. Other than that, I've been left alone. But if you keep your head down, you do the right thing, they will leave you alone. If you're selling drugs and whatever, they'll come after you because it's what they're paid to do. It's their job. But when all these people scream like, "Oh, the police are racist," and that, the only time I've ever seen any of these people get hurt by police is when they're attending protests, chucking bricks at cars, chucking Molotovs at buildings, spray painting buildings, being abusive, being horrible. If you just put your head down and do what's right, no one's going to bother you. But when you are vulnerable, they do try and groom you to be whatever they want you to be. So like a lot of young people are groomed to be drug dealers by the older drug dealers. So usually it's like a younger brother goes to school. The older brother says, yo, recruit some young people. Then they send them on trains to other towns. They give them a knife. They give them a phone. They give them the stuff to sell. If you don't have this money by a certain time, you're dead meat. But if you do have the money, we'll give you a cut and you get some pocket money. You don't have to work. So it's to do with grooming. Like young people are easily groomed, but I never hear about young people being groomed in the country. Never, ever once have I heard young people being groomed. It's only ever when it came to ISIS back in the day, they said young men are being groomed to join ISIS. But no one talked about how they're being groomed to be drug dealers, killers, criminals. No one cares about that.
Look, think about this. Imagine if America got to a place of zero crime. Would that serve politicians? Would that serve the prison system? Would that serve any system that is going on in the Western world?
Problem, reaction, solution. You say it all the time, Black Thoughts. If you were to solve that, what would their function be? Whether it be where our good friend is overseas, here in the United States, Australia, Canada, what good would they be? You know? So, I mean, I came across some information recently to where I understand why this agenda is being pushed now. You know, it's legal. They're doing it legally. They're doing it lawfully. And they're doing it in such a way to where people who don't study and read and don't understand what's really going on, they think they beat us over the head with the C virus. They conformed us into the image that they wanted. Now everyone is docile. Now everyone is, you kept hearing the narrative, hey, we're never going back to normal. This is the new normal.
Yep. They kept saying it.
Yep. And I'm going to say something here and people are not going to believe it. We are under martial law. It doesn't look like it because you can come and go as you please, sort of, kind of, but we're under martial law. We are, you know, and all they're waiting because now what I'm hearing in the news is they're trying to shift the narrative because, you know, they didn't get the results that they wanted and many people didn't die the way they thought they were going to. So now they're trying to shift the narrative. Now, if you notice, all this truth is coming out. Oh, let's just move on. Don't worry about it, Black Thought. You know, just don't worry about it. You know, we're gonna move on. You know, well, you told us a natural immunity. Yeah, you guys are right, but you know, we were under a lot of pressure, and you know, you know, it was just such a pandemic. We didn't know what we were doing, and you a lie.
Oh, Fauci said it in good.
You know, Fauci said it. We got it on tape. This administration will go through a pandemic. Oh, how did you know that? Hey, you got some stocks I could pick or a lottery number or something? Because, I mean, if you're that accurate, man, good grief.
I got something interesting regarding that. Our health secretary at the time, I get the exact messages, but he's been found out literally last night when I came off the stream last night or this morning. it all came out on the news and it's confirmed. WhatsApp messages. Our health secretary said, let's deploy the new variant and scare the pants off people so they take the vaccine.
Yep.
Pretty much
Oh,
word
yeah,
for word
absolutely.
And when the health secretary is confirmed to say that in our country, you know damn well it's happening in the States and elsewhere. And also regarding, when you were saying about how the government doesn't profit or prosper if everyone's doing the right thing, what Bill Gates used to do is create viruses so he could sell an antivirus, and that's what the government does. They create problems so they can sell a solution to us, and without a problem, they can't sell you the solution.
Well, I hear what y'all talking about, though it's a good conversation. We ain't gonna have it on here.
Okay.
Yes, we gotta
tread lightly over here because I already got one strike. So, but I do love the conversation. I would say that.
Okay. All right, let me read.
Sadly, on these platforms, if you want to talk about some things, you cannot talk about others.
All right, let me read.
See, so we're not going to talk about it. Uncle Tom just interjected and interrupted us. Now tell me we're not under martial law. Tell me we're not under martial law without telling me we're under martial law. Just tell me, please.
I didn't say
anybody.
that, sir.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Hold on. Let me read this super chat because we read super chats here from Bob with the $9.99 super chat. Crime helps certain politicians, but the money saved would be spent on other things. Illuminated, we are not under martial law. If we were, YouTube wouldn't exist, among other things.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Bob, for the $9.99 super chat. Yeah.
And, well, the reason why I say that is because based on the executive orders that have been signed by past presidents, the executive order that Reagan signed, which is the Stafford Act, the executive order that Clinton signed, which he did everything, which they gave all this power to FEMA. Now, I don't have the documentation in front of me, but the next time I call the panel, I will give you the guys the receipts. But according to the research I was doing this morning, what it did was it gave the UN authority and power over us. And with that executive order, it says, if you declare a national emergency during a pandemic, you can suspend the Constitution for 5 years. And I will give you the receipts on that. I know it's HR 1, I can't remember it, but I will make sure that I will go back, get it, write it, and send it to you guys, and you guys can read it, you know? So that's what I mean by it's not martial law according to the definition, what you're saying, Blk Thoughts. I understand what you're saying, but right now, it's so many rights have been suspended to where they just keep, you know, like he said, their health ministers, they're trying to come up with a new variant because it's just a constant cycle of just, you know, just pressure and locking down and stuff like that. There's some blue states that are still pushing masks and mandates and stuff. So depending on where you're at, I understand what you're saying, Blk Thought, but from what I was reading and listening to, I was like, you know what? I can see that, because you can come and go as you please. If we was under martial law, they say, well, we couldn't go nowhere. We couldn't do this. We couldn't do that. Well, their Agenda 2030 is in full swing, you know.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, and you know, I'm praying to God that we can recover, but the way these people are going, man, it's just either you go out in the boonies and live off the grid, but these people are not playing, man. They're doing what they need to do to push their agenda, and people just won't wake up. That's what's making me so upset. Like you talk about the children, and I thought the children would surely, I mean, I figure America would be rioting in the streets right now, but You got parents taking their children to freaking drag shows. Like,
yeah. So anyway, guys, I actually gotta go. I'm off this weekend, and the family is maximizing my time.
good for you.
And so I gotta go. It was a great conversation. Thank you. Say it again.
Are we going to do a show tonight?
Yeah, I'll be here. I mean, I'll be around, I guess, whenever I get back from whatever the wife tells me I have to do. Yeah.
Hey, I feel you, brother. I'm out here at HEB doing fruit tree shopping.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Listen, it is what it is, you know. Listen, man, I got a 13-year-old. She's telling me what to do half the time. You know, listen, it is what it is. The wife telling me what to do. Everybody's got his plan for my life, what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, at least you're not in poop today. So, hey.
So anyway, guys, thanks everyone for coming. It was a great conversation. Maybe next Sunday I'll write down some things and we'll continue this conversation and touch on a different point.
Hey, has anybody got can anybody get in contact with Blk Thoughts? Because I have an idea for me and him to do something together.
He'll be yeah. He puts the email out there, I believe.
Kai, you got my information. Could you email him and give him my number and stuff so he can contact me?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Appreciate it. That'll be a spinoff for you, Uncle Tom. The idea, I run it by you and him, and we can do like a combo.
He's banging out there. I'll tell him.
Okay.
Blk Thoughts, you should do Sunday Thoughts, and I really think that you are the perfect person for this. I really think you have so much to say and so much to share. I think this is a great idea.
Man, stop lying that nigga, man. He ain't got no good
Go back
thoughts.
to pounding the hammer and be quiet.
I'm just over here I'm just over here tap dancing, that's all.
Hey, that's what King Snarl said. Well, that's what JB said.
You fix that?
One of these days,
I'm doing a fence right now.
Okay.
So look,
nobody cares.
Let me highlight this super chat from Bob real quick. Bob says, folks got to be more precise with their words. Thank you, Bob, for the $1.99 super chat.
I think he's reacting to the wording.
Yeah, he is.
Of what was going on. I mean, it's kind of, there's certain things we just can't talk about. That's just how it is.
Are we doing something tonight, Kai?
Yeah, what do you guys want to do? Let's let people know now.
See, I'm doing a fence.
Another $1.99 from Bob. He said, CT is on, FYI. Great show, Blk Thoughts. Thank you, Bob. Damn, Kai, I should have asked you to put a poll in there. How does everyone think I did today? I'll do that next week.
I think you did great. You got the voice.
Hey, you did great. Don't listen to LA, bro. You did great, Blk Thoughts.
Yeah, this is LA. He's nothing but a criminal, man.
LA.
There's your thumbnail, LA.
Now I'm gonna go. Now I'm gonna go weep in my pillow because LA said I did terrible.
No, gosh, coming from the popo, really?
Exactly.
Coming from the popo.
The popo.
Anyway, guys, thank you.
Shut up, man, you bastard.
Thank you to everyone that joined. Thank you to everyone in the chat that said I did a great job.
Thank you to my mom. Thank you to my wife.
Yeah. I'd like to thank the Academy. Yeah. So
your award is in the mail.
Long diatribe. Just get off the goddamn stream.
So
Thank you.
Hey, do you want me to show you how to end it? I'll show you.
Oh, no. I'm getting ready to end it. Listen, I'm about to hit the. Listen.
Okay, you know I'm good at it. Even if I don't try to.
You showed us earlier how to end it.
Bob's idea is amazing.
Yeah.
You got to do that. Do a show on things you've shifted on about politically.
Hey, Black China Man, chill out. Yeah, he's going to end it. Good grief.
Oh, that's a good one, Bob. Oh, I was just getting ready to start knocking everybody down. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys later. Let me know what's going on tonight. Kai, thank you very much for helping set this up. I really appreciate the work that you do for the porch in general. So thank you. And I'm going to end it here. Everyone have a good afternoon, and we'll see you guys again tonight.
Wait. Make sure you go, and as soon as the stream ends, please go and put a comment. It can be an emoji, great show, anything like that, so that people can see that he has a show. So it'll kick up for next Sunday.
King Shenard, especially you go ahead and leave a comment, because we know you got a lot to say. Well, particularly 3 or 4 words, but go ahead and leave a comment anyway, because we need the haters as well. All right, guys. Have a great afternoon. Thank you, and bye.